All right, we're live. We're back with bodybuilding news. What do you want to start? I'm gonna give it to you. What do you want to start with, Ian? First of all, I'm here with Ian Heydecke, and please follow him on his YouTube channel, Ian Heydecke. He has great workout stuff, but he is with me when we do the bodybuilding news and what's going on in the bodybuilding world.
So, well, we got a few things. I mean, we got Cedric McMillan out of the Arnold. We got LLoyd. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us.
Right.
And then we got Nick Walker. This has got a new coach.
Yeah, and Brett Wilkin put up some new progress pics, and he looks fucking insane.
Now I didn't see those yet, but
okay.
Don't worry about it. I will be. Matter of fact, I might go on my tablet right here and take a look as we're literally talking.
All right. Yeah, he looks all right. So Cedric? Let's do Cedric first.
All right. So MD this morning reports Cedric McMillan is out of the Arnold. So that's the fifth person. We're down to 9 people now for the Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
They said he wasn't looking too well, and some with his esophagus. Like I guess he was just maybe couldn't handle food, and I mean Cedric is out of that lineup had the most times be at the Arnold. He has many top 3s at the Arnold.
Yeah.
But the way it was going now, it sounded like he would have been probably last.
Probably. All right. Nobody wants to talk ill about Cedric because he is a great person, a likable person, a family man, and he's also an American soldier, and all respect to him. But I'm gonna. This is the first time I'm gonna keep it as real as possible. Do you remember a few years back when I think I don't remember who interviewed Lee Haney, and he said if Cedric had that eye of the tiger, if he had that hunger, he would be able to be Mr. Olympia easily if he just had that hunger. And everybody freaked out. Remember, Chris Aceto freaked out. He was on Eric's Muscle, so on and so forth. How can you say that about him? And so on and so forth. Well, I think he's right. It's my opinion. I think he's right because this isn't the first time. There was that one instance where he was there at the pre-judging and he didn't do so well, and then he didn't feel good at the night show, right? Mm-hmm. And then there was another time where he backed out of one of the European shows, right? And now this time, now it's my esophagus hurts, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna start calling. I'm going to start calling. I'm going to start calling a circle a circle. I think Cedric sometimes, not all the time, makes up excuses when he's not up to par.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I'm accurate or not. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because the guy is a very respectable human being and a likable guy and a great ambassador to the sport. But why not just come out and say,
wasn't ready. I'm done.
I'm not what I used to be, and I don't want to go on stage less than 100%.
I think you and I both thinking. I think it's a pride thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, now watch him have fucking some kind of esophagus disease, and I look like an idiot, right?
Right. Yeah. Let's not. I mean, right now, let's just say this. We'll put it into good terms.
Right.
Hopefully he doesn't have a problem.
Right.
And maybe his body just said, hey, you're not ready for it.
Listen, the guy's in his 40s. He's had a great career. I mean, was Lee Haney accurate? Possibly. He possibly could have had a better career if he put a little bit more into it. We both know he also works full-time. He's a U.S. soldier. He also has a family. I completely get it. But I would rather hear a person say that. I'd rather hear a person say, "Look, these guys have an advantage over me. I'm not competing on an equal stage here. I don't look the way I used to. I just can't. I can't do this anymore because I'm not able to put 100% in, and I don't look 100%. For whatever reason, whether it's my age or the time or constraints or my family comes first, which is all respectable,
right? Even if he just said, "Hey, like you said before." I have a job. My job requires
Right.
Or, hey, some of these guys, they can live, as a bodybuilder, how they used to do in the 90s. Live off their contracts or whatever. They're a big popular name, live off of YouTube now because a lot of them have YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And they're making a ton of money off of it, apparently.
Right.
And they don't work.
Right.
Like, so if they do maybe a couple appearances, bing, bing, they're good.
Right. Where I have a full-time job and a family I have to take care of. And unfortunately, I would love to put 110% into bodybuilding, but I can't anymore.
Right.
And I mean, listen, I'm just saying if that's the notion, if that's possible. Now, if he really does have some kind of fucking problem with his esophagus and he has to deal with it, then go deal with it, and then prayers and thoughts go out to him. And I'm totally wrong, but I'm just. It just seems too many instances with the same person, the same, a little bit of excuses all the time. Kind of like, I don't feel good. I can't come back for the night show. I don't feel good, and so on and so forth. I didn't show up for the. There was another time he was late. Right, it was late. I forgot what show he was late to. I didn't know the time.
But the funny thing is, it's only a week. You're a week out.
Yeah,
that's what makes it kind of interesting because you're like, yo, most of these people are dialed in.
Yeah, they're ready.
You're a bodybuilder. You know it.
Yeah,
you've seen it.
Yeah,
usually around a week out, you're just coasting right now. You're just like, let me coast. I do a little bit of cardio, maybe some like glutes, some abs, whatever, just to touch up, and you are depleted.
That's right. Yeah.
Until a day or two out from the show.
Yeah.
You do your athletes meeting or whatever. So maybe he was. I mean, who knows what could have happened?
Yeah, and these guys are not the guys that are. You could tell the guys that are all in. I mean, the Justin Rodriguez, the Bretts, Kuklo.
Yeah, Kuklo's looking really good. Brett looking really good.
Brandon is just a freak of nature. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, so Cedric's out for whatever reason. I don't know if we're going to see much more of him. Because if he wants to do the Olympia, he has to qualify. I don't know if he's going to do a smaller show. Well, obviously, he doesn't have a choice. If he wants to do a smaller show, he's got no choice because the Arnold's up. But I don't know if he's going to do the Chicago Pro, the New York Pro. I don't know if he's completely done. If he is done, I hope he just comes out and says, "Look, guys, I retire. I'm done. I can't do this anymore." And if he is sick, I hope he addresses it. And I'm sure he will if he really is.
Right.
That's basically it. All right. So the next one. Well, let's do Nick's new trainer. I have no idea who Nick's new trainer is. Dominic something or other.
Right. It sounded like his name is Super Slice. I think it was Super Shred.
I never heard of this guy. I have no clue.
Me either. But apparently, I looked at what they did a video today. They posted up on YouTube, and the guy was training with Nick. So it's like, okay, he could be let's say this. He's probably a bodybuilder, but I don't know. You and I have to probably look into what he's done.
Right.
Or who his clientele is.
Right.
I'm surprised Nick went away from Matt.
Yeah, well,
or maybe he's with Matt for his nutrition, but it sounds like not. It sounds like everything is this guy.
Yeah. I don't know.
And even this, is Nick with Matt still as an athlete, not just as a.
Oh, that's right. We had talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't know. I mean, sorry. Nick is not with that company anymore. He's with.
Oh, that's right. He left. That's right.
He left. Well, what's the company?
He's with Hostel now.
Hostel, yeah.
Right.
So, is that whole thing now? You see that the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
He left. He left Matt. Now he's left Matt for everything. Now Nick is young. He could choose whoever he wants, and people are going to be like, "Yo, I trained him, or I was with him." So now they're going to be put on the map.
Yeah. Plus, first of all, Nick. I could train Nick and he could come, he could win a show. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, but the thing is, when you get to the Olympia, when you get to the Arnolds, then you're slicing, hairs, right? Then you're splitting hairs. Then that's when you want the Chris Acetos, the George Farrows, the Chad Nichols, the Palombos, the, you name it, the Henny Ramrods. Then you want those guys because now every little thing counts, because you're not going against, it's not a Nick Walker and he blows away the New York Pro. This is Nick Walker against the top 5, top 6 greatest bodybuilders in the world. And that's when it counts. Now, I don't know who this guy is. And I don't know what he did to convince, Nick that he should train him. I have no idea. And maybe he's good. It could be. I just don't know why he didn't go with a Aceto, Chad Nichols, Ramrod, Farah, somebody who stood the test of time. I mean,
I think with that, maybe it's just someone who's local.
Milos, yeah, Milos.
Yeah, because Jansen was local. Jansen's in Florida with him,
Mhm.
or close enough. I know he's somewhere down there.
Yeah. Well, now I think he's in
Tennessee, or is it Florida?
he's with Brett. I don't know where they are right now, but I know that they're together 24/7 basically.
I think Brett's up north.
If he is, I'm pretty sure because I did a live feed with Jose Raymond and Jason Owens, and Jose was saying that Matt basically lives with him and taking him by the hand through this whole thing because he knows he's got another fucking champ,
And like you said, we've seen. I didn't know Brett was gonna look like that.
Yeah, he certainly looks like it, man. Wow, he fucking
Because I mean, I've seen Brett. I saw him with Meadows. Like they showed him like a video with him and Meadows training together, but it's a totally. I mean, he looks so different now.
I wouldn't be surprised if he. I had when we did the prediction show I had Brandon Kuklo, Brett, and then I had what's his name fall into fourth, Bonac, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Brett pushes past Kuklo because that's how good he looks. Did you take a look at him? Did you see him yet?
Matter of fact, I'm gonna look at it right now.
Yeah, just look it up. I mean, it's not even. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
So as we're talking, I'm actually got my tablet right here. So we're gonna.
Yeah. I mean, he looks insane.
I bet. I mean,
full and shredded. It's almost like don't change anything. Don't you know what I mean? It's
like basically just let him coast.
Yeah, don't change anything. That's how good he looks.
Ooh, that's gonna be. Well, like I said, I'll be there. We'll have to do a show. I'll be there at the Arnold literally next week. I'll be there. Shit.
Yeah.
I leave Thursday. I'll be there Thursday early afternoon in Columbus. And that's we'll take it from there because I'm going to stop by first. There's a little meet and greet at the Bullfrog Nutrition. Jay Cutler's going to be there.
Awesome,
Sergio's going to be there. Castanino's going to be there. There's a bunch of people. Flex Wheel's going to be there.
That's awesome.
So it's going to be a bunch of people. I'm like, okay, and it's my boy. He's coming with me.
Cool.
This is the first time coming to the Arnold, so.
I gotta make it to the Arnold. I gotta.
You've never been?
I've never been to the Arnold. I've been to the Olympia 3 times. I've never been to the.
I saw you at the Olympia last year, but
yeah.
But okay. So I can tell you this. This is the first time now because of what happened to COVID. Now you're gonna get everything back, fans, expo, everything.
Right.
The Arnold, it's its own entity.
Mm-hmm.
It's gigantic. It's just people coming in. It's way bigger than the Olympia because it's a bigger venue.
Right.
So that people are just contacting me as I'm talking to you.
Okay.
But it's a bigger venue. It's 3 days. So it starts on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. Most of the time, Thursday is usually the meet and greet where they do for the pros. You meet them, all that stuff. The only thing I don't like about the Arnold is it's invite only, as you know that, right?
Right.
So it's invite only, but I don't like the fact that there's the women's physique and there's no 212.
No 212. There's no women's bodybuilding.
Right, but like you expect, yes, okay, men's body, which is a standard. That's the Arnold.
Right.
But then I think you need the 212. You need. You have the classic, but it's not everybody, of course, not there.
Right.
But you need those other divisions.
I don't. And here's the funniest part, man. Did you see what event that Arnold added to the Arnold Classic? Did you see what event he added? Him and Paul Logan are going to be promoting it. Did you see that?
Oh, the slap thing.
You're going to have slapping contest at the Arnold Classic, but no 212 and no women's bodybuilding.
Okay, so are you talking about Is it from? So basically, he's smirking on a Friday morning. This shot,
That shot. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
as you can see, I'm really looking at it. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's whew, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his face right here. This is a day ago. He looks fucking dialed in already.
Yeah. It's insane. Brett.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I mean, even they're showing him when he did his show 2 weeks out from the Chicago Pro to now. It's like,
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't know what his back looks like. I know he's got good legs, but if his back is anything equivalent to his front,
okay,
he could even win.
they did a thing 4 days out. It was a
Oh,
picture.
okay.
All right, so I'll show you the shot
Is it
on
2
here.
weeks? Oh yeah, I saw that. That's 2 weeks out. Okay.
2 weeks out, so his back has definitely come up
Yeah, he has.
from just from the Chicago Pro. That was last year.
Yeah, tremendous V-tape. I just don't know what his rear double by looks like. I'm sure it's great, but I don't want to say he's going to beat. He's going to beat what's his name, Brandon yet, without seeing all the shots. But if his back is anything like his front and his lat spread looks good, he might have a shot. I mean, I'm still going with Brandon. Don't get me wrong. You know,
Oh, of course. I mean,
because Brandon at this point, Brandon has zero weaknesses. His legs are up. His legs are separated. You know, his hamstrings are hanging. It's not like he has weaknesses anymore. You know.
right before it was a little issue, but now he's definitely. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Klugel's good too. I was looking at Klugel recently. I was like,
Kugel looks chiseled. Yeah. He said he wasn't feeling good for a couple of days. Maybe he had a cold or something like that. But, you know, I don't think that's really going to affect him much. I mean, you know, a little cold for 24 hours or 48 hours, and then he's back in the gym. That's really no big deal if he's keeping up with his meals and whatnot.
but also, here's the good thing about it. Sometimes, I know it's kind of weird saying this, but like, he has a cold. So guess what that means then? He's going to be shredded even more now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Because, the food intake, I mean, yes, whatever's trying to come down, maybe, I don't know, sadly might be going back up.
Yeah.
But, you know, he might be just, you know, getting that rest and chiseling his body, and it might be sucked out of him.
Yeah, I think those are going to be your three top guys, and I don't know which order. I would have to put Brandon in one, but I think those are going to be your three. A lot of, you know, the other two guys were high on Bonac still. They were still saying that he's got something to prove, that it's do or die, that he's going to come in second, so on and so forth. He's going to be the Bonac of old. I don't know. I don't know.
We don't know until showtime.
Yeah, exactly. I can only go on. I'm only going on his last performance, and his last couple of performances were not Olympia Arnold Classic worthy.
Right.
Put it that way. But all right. So final topic, and obviously the saddest one. Go ahead. You could deliver.
Okay. So it was reported today. We have lost Boston Lloyd.
Yeah.
29 years old. So young kid, very transparent and very infamous of talking about PED usage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a weird way, he was definitely out there, like talking about, hey, this is what I take, this is what I use, blah 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 blah. Then he was starting to get himself back in order, and then I read a little bit. He had stage 5 kidney failure. Mm-hmm. I never knew there was a stage 5. Period.
Yeah, but then I also heard it's possible. I don't know what the autopsy is. I mean, nobody does yet. There was no autopsy.
They said apparently going through this, he had a heart attack.
Yeah, right.
So maybe with the stage 5, the heart attack came on.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be not really controversial, but this is gonna be from the heart. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is completely out of control now. This is 100% out of control, and something needs to stop because we're losing too many people. And here's the sad truth. And this is why the onus is on the individual. Next week at the Arnold Classic, nobody's even going to be talking about Boston Lloyd, and that is the saddest part.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. It's gonna be like this. Who?
Yeah, because you and I were both at the Olympia a few days after George Peterson died.
Mm-hmm.
We were at the Olympia. Not a banner, not a poster, nothing.
The only thing we heard was the speech.
Yeah.
That's from Chris Bumstead.
Right.
A couple of people, you know, like, hey, this goes to George Floyd. George Floyd.
You would think at the expo they would have, like, you know, something. The expo had nothing. and nobody's even talking about it. So here's the sad reality: bodybuilding doesn't give a shit. As long as there are people like you and me that are going to pay the money, and we are, because we're bodybuilding fans and we love it, and so on and so forth. And you can't expect, people to stop. So bodybuilding doesn't give a shit. They are not going to stop doing what they're doing. People are going to pay to see the freaks, and we're going to pay to see the freaks, and it's going to continue, and it always has. It is about time that the onus is on the individual, because look at Antoine Vaillant. I don't know if you heard about Antoine Vaillant, but he's actually thinking about retiring now. He lost, he lost a bunch of weight because he went to the doctor, and the doctor basically gave him a full examination, blood work, and so on and so forth. And the doctor told him that you are almost guaranteed a heart attack in the very near future if you keep it up like this. And he said, "Okay, we're done." From what I understand, he's basically health first. All right. These guys have to start doing that. Otherwise, this is just going to continue. All right. My heart goes out to Boston Lloyd's family. I don't even know the guy. I know he was like this big social media character. I know he competed a bunch of times.
Right.
But when you have a child and when you have a wife and you have a loving mother, as he did, you have to be responsible at this stage.
Yes.
You have to be responsible. Like, I don't know what kind of drugs he was doing presently, but we all know that the amounts that he was doing a few years back were astronomical. They were insane. And
like, there's no reason to do that.
There was zero reason. And he would do NPC shows. There was zero. My first NPC show that I've ever did, right? I only did 4 shows. My first NPC show, this is what I did, okay? Mm-hmm. I did 2 shots of Primobolan a week, and this was 1999 when you can get real Primobolan, okay? And 2 Winstrol, 25 milligram Winstrol pills a day. That was it, and I won the middleweight class. You don't need to this whole 3cc thing and growth and insulin, and he was also doing all different types of what was it too?
Lasix and all that shit too, right?
No, I don't know about I don't think the diuretics, but what do you call it? The injectable glutamine and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. It's not worth it when you have a family. When you have a family that you have to take care of, and like I said, nobody is going to give a shit. No, like by next week, everybody's going to be talking about the Arnold. Nobody's going to be talking about him, and he's still going to have a child and a wife that has to be taken care of. And could you imagine what his mom is going through?
How about this? Here's the sad part.
Good.
It's just today that we're talking about it.
Yeah.
He'll be for. They may talk about one of the. Okay, the next time they'll talk about him is this autopsy.
Right. Which is what happens, because that's what happened with George Peterson. That's right. Yeah. Because we didn't hear about it until that's right. Even what?
Even then.
Yeah. It was, but it's the people have to become a lot more responsible. It is not worth it. And there are more people now on Source, on Gear, whatever you want to call it, than ever before because of social media. Because they want to be social media influencers. They want to look good on social media. There's a hell of a lot more categories that people could enter now: the classic, men's physique, 212, open, and then even the girls have wellness, figure, and physique, and fitness, and so on and so forth. And even several girls have died in the past couple of years too. It's not like they haven't. People have to start being more responsible. It is not worth it. If you're not competing, there's no reason to be on it.
The funny thing is, let me cut you off on this one. I've noticed a lot more amateurs who do NPC fuck up so much on so much shit.
Insane amounts of shit.
But you don't need that much.
You don't. What are you going to do when you get to a national level show?
Because we all know everybody's on. Everybody's on just something a little different.
Right.
And maybe your genetics will beat out the next person. Okay.
Right.
Let's say you win your NPC, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? What happens when you become a pro now?
Yeah, it's just and here's also
your stuff.
And here's also the sad truth that nobody wants to fucking believe. The people that are going to make it in bodybuilding A 1% of the 1%.
That's what it is. That's why there's not too many pros out there.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm sitting behind a fucking microphone trying to make a YouTube video, a YouTube channel, and a podcast out of it? Because I knew I didn't have what it took. And I said, this is ridiculous. I don't have what it takes. I'm going to get crushed at the national level. And I said that I'm done. And that was whatever it was, 2012 or whatever it was. And you gotta, and it, somebody could sell you something. And if you're a good salesperson and it worked for them, it might be sound reasonable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it might not be for you. Just because it worked for that person, and that person, like all the motivational stuff on YouTube. No days off. Make sure you get to the gym. Fucking eat 12 meals a day, so on and so forth. You know what? That's all well and good. If you have the potential, real potential, to be a champion bodybuilder, great. If you don't, you're wasting your time.
Mm-hmm.
You're wasting your time. There's other ways. There's other facets to make a living. There's personal training. There's doing what we do with social media. There's supplement companies. There's other ways to be involved. Plenty of training people. Not contest prep. There's other ways to be involved that you could still love the sport and be involved in it and make a living.
Well, even with this, think about this. Of all things, Big Boy.
Not your mother's role model. I don't know. All right. Good.
Okay. So like Big Boy from Strength Cartel, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Look at him. He's not competing, but
Yeah.
he's freakish. He's freakish
Yeah,
because he pull-ups from a 300-pound man.
Right.
You
He's
know?
a huge human being. Right. Yeah.
But people are doing that. How it's basically for that part. It's just you find your niche. If you're not the 1% of the 1%, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, it's not. I mean, Boston Lloyd had great genetics, but he didn't have what it took to become pro. Obviously, I mean, I'm not saying that his onus wasn't on his family, but I don't know if he hadn't. I don't know what the autopsy is. I'm not a doctor.
Me either.
But I know that playing with those drugs for so many years and such insane amounts will take a toll on you sooner or later.
It'll speed up your rate.
Yeah, whatever. Right. If you with Dallas McCarver was a perfect example. He had a genetic defect that nobody knew about. Right. It's out of control at this point. And like I said, bodybuilding is not going to do anything. They're not going to step in and say we're going to do this or we're going to do that. It's not going to happen, and it wouldn't be even reasonable for them to do that because that's the sport, and it's called free will. But here's the thing:
you and I both notice the freaks make the muscle.
That's it. They make the money. So as far as you and I are going to be continuing to talk about it, we're going to be continuing to pay for it. But the individual has to be responsible, like in Antoine Vaillant, who went to the doctor, who saw that people were really getting sick and dying, and he's like, you know what? Let me go check myself out, and if I'm not too late, I'm done. If I'm good, I'm healthy, great. But if not, and then that's what these young guys have to. And I also know that at 29 years old, you think you are immortal.
Of course.
You think you are. Do you think nothing is going to happen to you until something happens?
Here's another thing. I'm like even with the top coaches, right? Let's look at Hani Grandpa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hani makes sure all his guys get their blood work done.
Right.
I would like to see what his blood work was.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I know him and Dave were very close. I think Dave Palumbo coached him on some of his amateur shows, and I'm sure he's going to get his blood work and read it on RX Muscle and so on and so forth. And Dave is super intelligent dude, so he'll give his his educated opinion on what the problem is. But I don't have that ability. I don't know if it was a heart attack. I don't know if it was kidney failure. It could have been a combination of both. I don't know if it was a direct result of the amount of steroids he was taking or taking in the past. But I do know this: it can't help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that stuff can't help. And I do know that now he has a wife and a kid with no father and a mother with no son. And they're going to be grieving for years on end. This is not going to go away easy because this was a shock. He was only 29.
And you're thinking, at 29, what were you doing? Like I say, when I was 29, I was getting ready to get married back then.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, all right, And even when I thought about competing myself, my ex-wife told me, "You touch that stuff, we're done."
Right.
I was like, at the time, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not touching that stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And if you have an addictive personality, steroids is no different. Just because the result isn't a immediate high, right, doesn't mean it's not going to do damage. So if you have an addictive personality, then if one is good, then more is better, right? So so what I'm saying is, if you have an addictive personality, then you have to stay away from it 100% completely. You can't just go, I'm going to do a little bit like a normal person.
No, right? Because we all know what's going to happen.
Right.
You get their first rush, and then all of a sudden that little bit now does nothing. Yeah. Now they have to go to whatever.
I can't tell you how many guys in the gym I talk to when they go, what else can I take? What else can you take?
Relax, dude.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Why don't you try revamping your workout or changing your diet around? Well, it's just.
You know how it is. A lot of people who, we're talking about this. The people who know how to take it, right? Live long.
Right. Yeah.
We're talking about the people who know how to take it.
That's 100%. You look at. I've had Vinny Galante on several times. The guy's 52, 53 years old. And he's still competing, still going strong, and still healthy as a horse. Now, I know everybody's different, but Vinny's been around a long time, and he's well educated on it. And we even spoke about it. He said there's a big difference between pharmaceutical grade stuff and underground stuff. You don't know what they're cutting it with. There's no FDA approval. There's nothing like that. You don't know if it's underdosed, overdosed. You don't know what they're putting in it, what they're not putting in it. It's a big difference, man.
Right.
I don't know, man. I think, it's to all. I know I don't have a large audience, but to the young guys out there that want to look good, you look good. You go to the gym, you work out, you look fine. There's no reason, especially if you're not going to compete, to put that junk in your body. There's a big difference between being a guy like me, 45, who's on TRT because my testosterone level has dropped because I'm old and I want to bring it up to normal levels and it's under doctor's supervision. There's a big difference between that and going to the guy on the street selling stuff and give me growth, give me deep balls, give me a trend. Trend's a big one. Trend, everybody wants to jump on trend. Trend's a big
divorce
one.
AKA divorce of the bottle.
Yeah, everybody wants, so on and so forth. And then they just and they go, and it's not worth it.
But women, go ahead, man.
Girls aren't going to throw themselves at you because you do more sauce than the next person.
Right. What I was gonna say is that we're in a social media age where it's like, look at me,
right.
Look at me, right. Please look at me.
Right, exactly.
And it's like, if I don't get attention, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I have a YouTube channel, and you saw my Instagram. I put a picture of me on it yesterday. I didn't even put my face up. Everything is about promoting the actual YouTube channel, not myself. There's also a topic that nobody wants to talk about in this country. And they'll talk about the bodybuilding dysmorphia. They'll talk about the steroid use. But the one topic nobody even wants to touch because of social media is the addiction to attention.
Oh, yeah. You know who's number one for that?
Who?
Antonio Brown.
Really? Okay, do tell.
I think, the football player.
Right.
Antonio Brown, it became the social media victim of his own self.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me, look at me, look at me. And if I have a bunch of yes men, yeah. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Horse shit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he tried to blame the Buccaneers, right? They got me hurt, this and that, right? There's a picture of it that showed up. It was from last year. So, bro, you're lying already.
Okay.
Okay, like there's stuff that he wants attention, and then he realized stuff will go on without you, bruh.
Yeah, right.
Just like any of these people,
Yeah.
the world will go without you.
Yeah.
It just continues.
Yeah, there is an addiction to attention in this country because of social media, and nobody is addressing it. It is ruining relationships. It is ruining people's ability to be social. It is giving people false
Narratives and hopes.
exactly, and especially with girls. Especially with girls. I mean, girls go on. I mean, and they're not even pictures of themselves. They put the filters up, and
like, who are you? Are you even this person, or like?
Yeah, or the girls that go get a Brazilian butt lift and then tell you how to do squats and lunge. It's like really, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just
Here's the best
fucking
one.
ridiculous.
You and I both know this. When I go to the Arnold or you've been to the Olympia, you see how everything looks, right?
Right.
Full of shit, half of it.
Of course, yeah, it is. Absolutely.
I mean, you get let's call a spade a spade. People like Brad Castleberry.
Right. Exactly.
Big example.
Yeah. I had this conversation with Bill Gillespie. Bill Gillespie is 62 years old. He just broke the bench press equipped world record. Okay. Now, one kid in the gym I spoke to knows who he is. He just benched 1129 legit equipped at a meet, right? Where the weights are calibrated. The guy benched 1129 at 62 years old. He's been powerlifting for 50 years. They all know who Brad Castleberry is. And it's like, dude. Or who's the other guy we talked about last time? The Australian guy, Colum, whatever the hell.
Oh, yeah. Vaughn. Yeah.
And it's like, and it's all just for attention and social media likes and so on and so forth. But
I got another one for you.
Go ahead.
I got another one for you. Bradley Martin.
Yeah, that's another guy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I just don't. We're not from that generation, so I don't get it. Our generation was celebrityism was a byproduct of something that you did to become famous, right? You were a great basketball player. You were a great race car driver. You were a great musician. Whatever the case might be, an actor or actress, and you became famous through that. Social media has given people the ability to be famous, accomplishing nothing.
Insta famous, that's what they call it.
Yeah, right.
Insta famous.
And what we're trying to get at is if you are trying to be a social media influencer on health and fitness, and you're pumping your body full of drugs just because you want likes and followers, then you're an idiot. You're a dummy, and you're risking things that are irreversible, like a Boston Lloyd, irreversible, like a Rich Piana, irreversible. Those people are never coming back. And I could only imagine what his wife and his mom are going through. And my heart goes out to them tremendously because they have to be dying inside. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'm done.
So I say the next time we talk is if nothing comes up brand new
at the Arnold. Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, I'll talk to you from when I'm at my hotel room, and I'll let you know what's going on. Of course, I'm doing some vlogs, some videos about it.
Absolutely, we'll definitely do a live feed from your hotel room, and we'll talk about everything.
Definitely, brother.
And you got to. I know you're good at like getting all the supplements and clothing and weight belts. You got to show me everything that you get from the expo.
You'll listen. That'll be part of the vlogs. You're probably here's a video of just everything.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Sounds good, man. All right, brother. Thank you very much again for doing this on such short notice. I really appreciate it, man. And we'll definitely talk soon.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Later.